Hello and welcome to Carroll College's short tutorial on how to fill out your housing application. The housing application can be found on eRezLife, which is one of your tiles in your Okta portal. There are two ways to look for your housing application. You can see on your home page where mine says complete one housing application in progress. I'm a little bit ahead of the curve, so yours would say apply for housing. Or you can take a look over here on this left side and click housing overview. Again, here I have started the application, and this is where you'll find the available applications to you. So I'm going to click over here and click Continue Application. And our first section is the profile field. Here you'll put cell phone numbers, emergency contacts, etc. A lot of this info is ported over from your initial application to the college, so this should be pretty filled out already. You can see where like my name, my student ID, here's my Carroll email. I've put in, my dad, my mom as my emergency contacts. Again, all of this should be pretty much imported over for you already. So I'm going to scroll all the way down and click Save. Our second section, when this loads for us, is going to be building preference. I've already started putting a couple of buildings together over here, but let's say that my first option is Trinity Hall, and then Borough, and then I'll put St. Charles. So just to click over there, and you can change the order of these however you like. If you decide, oh, maybe I actually want St. Charles as my first option, you can go ahead and do that. All right, next I'm going to click Save and Continue. Next, we're moving on to room preferences. So here I've already put in my organization for my preferences. I'm going to just slide Borromeo Hall up to the first one, and then we're going to move on to room type preference. It's already kind of imported a couple of things over. So here we've got like a single room for Borromeo only. There's a lot more options over here, and you can just drag and drop. Next, we're looking at floor preference. Again, this is going to be dependent on what building you are looking at. So I put first floor as my first, second floor, and then let's say I put fourth floor as my third. And then all this good information, make sure you read through these things and click I understand. And next, we're moving on to personal preferences. These are things you yourself will be engaging in the room, so please be as honest as possible. If you normally go to sleep at 11 p.m., make sure you click like between 11 or maybe before 11. These things are super important when it comes to roommates, and it helps us match you to someone who has similar habits if you don't already have a roommate matched to you. Under these questions are about your animal tolerance, and you'll be athlete for the next year. Make sure you're super honest on those. And there's also a question about specific housing accommodation. So if you plan to apply for a specific housing accommodation, please click I do plan to apply. Or you already have one, you can click that guy. Moving on, we have preferences for roommates. These are things you would look for in a roommate and what you would accept in like the shared room. I answered that I'm like a casual roommate. I'm not necessarily like super neat, I'm not necessarily super messy, but I would like a casual space. I expect my roommates to go to bed at the same time as me, so between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. And then I get up around 7, around 8, so I expect my roommate to do the same, just so I'm honest about that. And then I also expect them to be flexible, similar to what I have already responded to. So again, be as honest as possible if you can during these things, as well as if you're interested in having a roommate be an athlete or an international student. As we scroll down, we'll see additional housing agreement reminders. Please read through these. These are important, and clicking I understand, it won't let you move on unless you click I understand, so make sure you read through these guys. These are really important information. And then I did a really beautiful signature right here. So it'll ask you for your signature at the end, and then I'm going to click Save and Continue. All right, and this is our last thing, which is your application overview. So making sure you're applying for the 26-27 residence halls and meal plans residents. Your first choice is whatever building you put as your first choice. And then to complete this application, make sure you open and read our terms and condition file. And then declaring all information I've disclosed throughout this information process is correct. So I'm going to click both of those, and then I'll click Submit Application. And then you should get this big thank you and also a receipt number. So this will be something good for you when you get an email on your confirmation that you've submitted your application. You'll have this receipt number to look up. And then things to do next are finding your roommates. But otherwise, you have completed your housing application. Congratulations. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.